addition to being a senior advisor at the Hastings Center, Wendell Wallach is also a scholar at the Yale Interdisciplinary Center in Bioethics, and due to Dan Callahan's vision and other people's hard, good work, the program is a collaboration of the Yale and Hastings. Wendell is the author of Moral Machines, Teaching Robots Right from Wrong, and a second book called A Dangerous Master, How to Keep Technology from Slipping Beyond Our Control. And the World Economic Forum recently named Wendell as a co-chair of its Global Futures Council on Technology, Values, and Policy.
Technology is moving into the driver's seat as a primary determinant of humanity's destiny. And in a few minutes I'm going to talk with you. I'd like to underscore 4 major areas of concern, each of which will have a great deal to do with how successfully we navigate the future. So let's start with technological unemployment. This was a term that was coined by John Maynard Keynes in the 1930s. He used it to represent the long-standing live fear that each new technology was going to rob many more jobs than it created. For 200 years, that has not happened. Each new technology actually has created more secondary jobs than it has eliminated. And yet many of us think that this time it is different. This time it is different for a variety of reasons. Most importantly is these increasingly intelligent machines that are able to automate more and more jobs, but also the simple fact that we're all living longer, retiring later. We are not opening up jobs for young people moving into the workforce in the same way. And in fact, life expectancy is growing roughly 2 to 4 years every decade. 2 or 4 depending on which country you're talking about. Furthermore, I would argue that we are already seeing from automation downward pressures on job creation and wage growth. In fact, there has been this decoupling between productivity and employment and real wages for quite a few years now. Actually, in terms of real wages, it's been going on for 4 and 5 decades, again, depending upon which country we're talking about. 2 scholars, Osborne and Frey, analyzed the U.S. workforce, and they said that 47% of existing jobs could be automated. Imagine if only 3 or 4% of those are automated every year. And their methodology was applied to China and to India, and in India it was 69%, and in China it's the mid-70s. So this is not per se a technology issue. Technology is creating the problem, but ultimately this is a political issue. It's an issue of political economy. And if wages are no longer going to be the main way in which people are able to purchase goods and services they need, how will they get them? The next issue, the roboticization of warfare. Is this a good idea, or is it a recipe for future disasters? This issue is being fought out primarily over whether there should be such a thing as a lethal autonomous weapon. Lethal autonomous weapons will be able to select their own targets and dispatch those targets without a human effectively in the loop of decision-making in real time. And this question is being debated out at the Convention for Certain Conventional Weapons of the United Nations in Geneva. This has been going on for a few years. I'm among those who believe that machines must not make decisions that can result in the deaths of humans. In fact, some of us read international humanitarian law, the laws of armed conflict, as implicitly saying that this would be a violation of those laws, but it is not explicit. And therefore, I think we should be declaring machines that make such decisions mala in se. Now, for those of you who don't know that term, that's an ancient Roman term which refers to something that's evil in itself. But machines making life and death decisions is not evil because they're machines, but because they're unpredictable. They can't be fully controlled, and attribution of responsibility is difficult, if not impossible. So the suggestion here is that we should create a moral line, and that moral line should make it clear what is being outlawed But anybody who's been in this debate knows that there's all kinds of ambiguities about when a machine truly is making a decision and when it's simply an extension of human will and intention. And we're going to have to debate that out, and that is an endless debate. But lethal autonomous weapons are really just the tip of the iceberg of the simple fact that increasingly autonomous robotic systems, they threaten to undermine a foundational principle for us, and that's that there's a human agent, either individual or corporate, that is responsible and potentially culpable and accountable and liable for harms caused by the deployment of any technology. I don't think any of us really want to visit a world in which the principle of a responsible agent is totally diluted. Then there's this concern about whether eventually we will create machines that are equal to human intelligence and then leapfrog it and become super intelligent. Like Ella, I'm your friendly skeptic. I'm from an attentive engineering spirit that's remarkable technological feats lie in our future. I'm deeply skeptical that we know enough about intelligence to even know whether it is reproducible through computational means. Nevertheless, I'm very supportive of those people who are raising this concern and looking for ways to mitigate, to begin research projects now that would ensure control over AI. And furthermore, most of those research projects will have applications in the near term. So this is Moral Machines Teaching Robots Right from Wrong, which was a book that I co-authored with Colin Allen. And that mapped this new field of research that went under many names, machine morality or machine ethics. And it was largely about whether we could implement moral decision-making faculties in artificial agents. But also it took a deep dive into, well, how do humans do it? How would we similar and dissimilar to these entities we're going to create? But artificial moral agents are necessitated by autonomous systems making choices, taking actions that can be harmful to humans for good or for bad. Rosalind Picard, Rosalind Picard, who's the godmother of affective computing, she teaches at MIT, she put it well when she said, the greater the freedom of the machine, the more it will need moral standards. Now, in the last couple of minutes, I want to focus on specifically the governance issue. The gentleman in the lower left-hand corner, that's Gary Marchand. But Gary has been very focused on the challenge of governing emerging technologies and what is sometimes called the pacing problem, or the growing gap between emerging technologies and their legal ethical oversight. He and I got together and we concurred that the present governmental systems we have are totally inadequate for technologies that are appearing at a very rapid rate. And we can go into great details why there's just a really bad fit there. And rather than lamenting that fact, we decided, well, if we had our druthers, what would we put in place? And we came up with a new model for the governance of emerging technologies that we refer to as global governance committees. But the basic idea here is to put in place an issues manager. And that issues manager would coordinate the activities of the many stakeholders. It would engage in comprehensive monitoring for various fields of research, for specific fields of research in each case. It would flag issues and gaps. It would try to find solutions to those issues within a robust set of available mechanisms. It would be mandated to avoid regulation where possible, and it would favor what is sometimes called soft governance. I'll come back to that term in a minute. And the basic proposal here is to create a new body that's nimble, flexible, adaptive, and lean. So when we think of existing policy mechanisms, most of us first think about what is referred to as hard governance. So we're talking about funding of research and laws and regulations and regulatory bodies. And soft governance includes industry standards, codes of conduct, certification programs, laboratory practices and procedures, and even social norms. And many of us believe we can get a great deal more mileage out of these soft governance programs that perhaps we are tapping into. But they do have one fundamental drawback, and that's that they seldom have a means of punishing wrongdoers. But a third mechanism that we should bring into the same mix is technological solutions to problems that we can identify. Now, most of you have encountered technological solutionists that think every conceivable problem can be solved by technology, and usually they spot technologies that we are far from having the ability to even implement. So we need to be careful in this area. But we have these three realms to draw on. When you think of any new approach to implementing an institution, there's all kinds of challenges that arise. From where does it get its authority, its legitimacy? Would it have adequate influence? How would you pick its members and administrators? How would they establish their credibility? Should it be governmental or private or some kind of way of merging a partnership between government and private institutions? How would it get its funding, and to whom would it be accountable? All of this may make you think that this is just entirely too complicated or hopelessly naive, or perhaps both too complicated and hopelessly naive. Nevertheless, we think something like this is needed, and we've recommended pilot projects in either AI and robotics or synthetic biology, both because these are new fields of research that are largely unencumbered by laws and regulations. But there's another facet to this. This proposal was originally created with the U.S. context in mind, and it's not going to be appreciated by other countries necessarily with different governmental systems. And then there's a whole flock of issues around international coordination or harmonization. So taking all that into account, we are now creating the next stage of our AI Hastings Center project, which we are calling Building Global Infrastructure to ensure that AI and robotics are beneficial. And we're doing that in partnership with many other groups, including the International Committee of the Red Cross, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, the IEEE, which sets standards for engineers, and I could go on with all the other bodies that are jumping into this space, and we are forming partnerships with. So thank you very much.